Alright, everyone. I told you that I saw the new Ghostbusters movie last night, and of course, I don't watch a lot of TV. I didn't even know they make a new Ghostbusters movie until like 2 or 3 months ago. And I knew when I saw it, I would see things. There's just no getting out of that now. I think anybody who's awake sees things. I'm not saying I'm special. Please don't misunderstand. But I wanted to point out some of the things I noticed and make a couple more connections, connect the dots. I'm always trying to connect the dots and give you the evidence to make the case so that you can see the people that are trying to wake you up and tell you the truth. If you just take the time to look into it and you look with an open heart and come to it as a child and forget what you're taught, you might actually see what's really going on right in front of your eyes. It's unbelievable sometimes. So obviously I've got this spoiler alert up here for a reason, because I saw Ghostbusters and I'm going to talk about the movie and I'm going to ruin it for you. And if you don't want me to ruin it, then maybe you'll watch this later. So here's your heads up. And now's your time to turn me off if you don't want to listen to it. The first thing I wanted to point out, and there are tons of stuff in this, of course, and I'm sure that I'm going to miss a few things. I saw it one time, and it's not like it's out on video that I can pause it and rewatch. But so that the trailer number 2, one of the first things I noticed in the movie, and I grabbed the trailer so that you could see the image here. I've been telling you about scrying. I learned about that from KJ Osborne from The Scariest Movie Ever. Of course, it's in this movie. Who would suspect, right? When the lights are on in the room, they look like ordinary mirrors. When the lights are off, they look like black scrying mirrors. And of course, there are all these spirits, demons, trying to come through, because there's a particular character trying to activate ley lines, which ironically are right in line with what Jonathan and Mr. Cat Eye have been pointing out in some of their videos. But basically, he's trying to activate it so that he opens up a portal and activates the energy, and all of these spirits or demons come through into the city. And it's, of course, New York City again. So the first thing I want to tell you is, look, there's more scrying in your face, okay? It's not just me. I asked for confirmation on this, and I got my confirmation. And I wouldn't have put it out in a video if the Lord hadn't confirmed it for me. So just telling you, this is yet again something else to confirm what he already confirmed for me. So at like 27 seconds, there's this thing that this character is working on, and a couple of times in the movie, like right about here, see, it's kind of got this CERN imagery, and it's not a good picture here, but I'm doing the best I can, try and make this short and sweet. But right before they roll the end credits, or as they're bringing up the major names at the beginning of the end credits, before they do the black screen with the credits, there's a lot of pictures. It's like CERN imagery. And basically, Jonathan has said, Nicholson has said, everybody is saying, they're looking to open up portals to other dimensions. Even CERN has admitted to that. And I just find it ironic that this movie has that imagery and they're trying to open up a portal, but what are they trying to let through? Paranormal activity is what they're calling it in the movie, but it's demons. And I told you what demons were and why scrying and divination is a no-no according to the Bible. Okay, I told you that it's in the book of Enoch. I showed you, I pulled it right up for you. Go and look it up. It says right in the end times, they're going to come and wreak havoc on us, okay? There's a whole hidden world that's spiritual that people you know, you think you're reading your tarot cards and having your palm read and talking to your long past grandma or grandpa, and no disrespect to anyone, I've lost loved ones too. But that's not really what you're doing, and that's why you're not supposed to be getting into that. I really don't want to be the person who preaches. I'm just trying to teach you what you might not know. So, I didn't know until I looked into it either. So we're all at that point at some point. So the scrying and the CERN imagery. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is, of course, there is one of the demons is a dragon, okay, with like horns and the whole bit. Just putting that out there, okay? At one point, they meet with Andy Garcia. He plays the mayor. And after that meeting, I'll try not to ruin as much of the movie as I can. After that meeting, they go out into the alley by their headquarters, and they're testing out the new weapons that one of the other characters has made. She's hysterical, by the way. And while they're in that alley, I just need to point this out for my subs who I've been pointing out the red balloon phenomenon to. In the alley, and I realize it's not red balloons, but you gotta listen to what I'm saying. There's a pretty long scene where they're all testing out the different weapons, and they're shooting in the direction where, because they rent above this Asian restaurant, there are these red paper lanterns hung in between buildings in the alley. And they look like red balloons, and there are quite a few of them, and they aren't any other color, okay? So I realize they're paper lanterns and they're not red balloons, but the fact that they're hanging in the air and they're red and they kind of resemble balloons, if you could just go with me there and understand where I'm coming from, it's just more of the same. I'm telling you, you're going to see it everywhere. It's going to be more prevalent. It's already coming more and more prevalent. And what's the reason for it? Pick a different color balloon, but they're not going to. So there are also parade floats, because it's New York City. A lot of parade floats towards the end of the movie come through, and the girls are, blasting them because they're possessed. One of them has a giant red nose, and they look just evil and whatever. And then you see the original Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that I put in one of my other videos, and that relates to the 9 Narnia videos. And then the new version of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is like this demonic figure that represents like the newer version of Stay Puft. And he's doing the same thing as the old one. He's destroying the city, he's angry, he's attacking the people. But he looks, now get this, he looks just like the Oogie Boogie character in Nightmare Before Christmas. And I hope that at the end, I remember to pull that up and show you a picture of it, because I forgot to line it up in my queue here of all my Safari tabs. But hopefully I won't forget. But if I do forget, please go and look that up by yourself. It's looks just like it. And that was another evil character in that movie, even though it was a fun kids movie. So another thing to note is I told you there was a bunch of CERN symbolism, and Kristin Wiig plays the particle physicist. So that's what they study at CERN, particle physics, okay? I'm just connecting some dots. I'm not trying to get weird. The movie is about charging and opening a portal for paranormal activity, in other words, demons, okay? And it's in New York City. And it's all around all these things I told you were basically demonic, like those 9/11 memorials that are really scrying pools. And they're just doing more proving, for your case against them, or for you to see. At one point in the movie, and these are just random observations, what I remember that I jotted down. So Chris Hemsworth, he gets possessed. Towards the end of the movie, he descends out of the sky, and his arms are outstretched, and he's in the pose just like Christ was when he was crucified on the cross, with one leg slightly bent to the other and his arms out, and he descends, okay? You know, that's a mockery. It's in your face. It's stuff that Jonathan has been showing you in, like, the Coco Chanel commercial and another perfume. It might have been Versace. Can't really remember. But they're showing that now. It's like, you know, a spirit coming down. Well, anyway, so he comes down and he's posed like that, and he lands and he starts moving, and everyone is mimicking his movements, like Simon says, like they're just following along. Just like I pointed out in the official Nina 99 Red Balloons video with all the occult symbolism, okay? I think it might be part 8. You'll know, it's got all the black and white, and she's sitting on the pyramid. So anyway, just something else for you to remember and think about. What else? Okay, so towards the end of the movie, the Kate McKinnon, she plays one of the characters in the movie. She's the funniest one. She's like the one who designs all the weapons, the traps, you name it. She like soups up the car, and she essentially puts like a nuclear reactor on the roof of the car. So when the portal gets opened, I might add by a man sacrificing himself for the energy to open the portal so that he can come back and be possessed, which is interesting. One of the ghosts, they bring it back from the original movie, takes over the car. He gains possession of the car with the nuke, okay, with essentially the nuclear device on the roof of the car. Now, while they're fighting all these other baddies and paranormal and demons and whatnot, they know it's not good that he's got the car, and they say, hey, wait a minute, we could make all this go away if we activate the nuke, if we set off that nuclear device, which is not a nuke, it's not like a bomb, but it's like a nuclear reactor. So essentially, you get what I'm saying. It's the same thing, but it's not in a missile form. But it's on the roof of the car, and they activate it so that they can open a portal and send the baddies back into oblivion, back where they came from. So they do it, and if you remember, you're in New York City now, and they just activated a nuke. They opened a portal, okay, and they're sending the baddies back while they're defeating some of them, and they send the big new Stay Puft Oogie Boogie look-alike demon thing back into the pit, okay, and he falls and falls and falls and falls and falls, and when he keeps falling, but he splashes into like this goo. Almost, it's not really water, but it's kind of representative of water. If it's the same stuff I've been telling you about. So, things to think about on that. Now, one of the other things is towards the end of the movie, when it's all said and done and the girls are, have beat everybody, and it's the next day and the whole city's cheering for them. They come out, and 2 of them, their hair's white because they went in the pit. One went in to save the other one, and their other friends drug them back out. So they look at each other and they're thinking, well, what the hell time are we living in? What year is it? And the Kate McKinnon, who plays one of the characters, she goes, well, it's 2040 and our president is a plant. Okay? I just want you to consider that. Just let it sink in. Okay? For the people who aren't awake, they're thinking, somebody's talking about a green leafy organism. For those of us that are awake and are paying attention, we know exactly what that means. All right, but the most important thing that's just more evidence. One of the connections I want to make, and I just wanted to scroll through and give you a minute to see some of the images. You can go do this yourself. You can see I just hit images and Googled Ghostbusters 2016. So you see the dragon there. There's that beastly new Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man. And on and on and on. And the car with the nuclear reactor on the top. This is the thing that takes over the car. You know, I don't really, if you're either going to watch the movie or not, you'll see what I mean. This is that one. She's pretty funny. She develops all the weapons and stuff. And so there were some other things I saw, but really this is the stuff I'm remembering here. So I'm going to open up a new tab and just and I just think the fact that this movie, Nightmare Before Christmas, okay? So when Obama said, and I will win the war on Christmas, Jonathan put that up. Other people have put that up. And Jonathan said, and he's not kidding, okay? He's not kidding. So I find it very bizarre. Let me go back here. I'm going to tell you. There is a reason that this picture here is the new look of the white ghost that terrorized the city for the new movie, okay, 30 years later. All right, let's go to images before I get to the Rosemary's Baby connection. Wait until we get there. I hope it's on here because I don't want to be looking forever, but okay, see this? This is the shadow of him in the moon, the Oogie Boogie character. Do you see what I'm talking about? I gotta just keep scrolling and see if I find it. Hopefully I didn't pass by it already. I'm pretty tired right now, so I don't want to miss anything here. I may just have to Google the name. Sorry, it's taking so long. Okay. This is one picture of him right here. I don't know if you can see that. Here's another one of him in the moon. But basically, Jack Skellington, in the end of the movie, he fights him. They have a big battle. And, alright. It's not, I don't have any good images. I don't even know if I'm going to spell it right. Oh, right here. Oogie Boogie. Okay. Images. Alright, you see what I'm saying? Look at that. Now let's go back to this one. Look at that. Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay? Let it sink in. Are they telling you they're going to start trouble before Christmas? I don't know, but then check this out. Okay, so the whole thing, this one character in the show, he's a creepo, and he is running around the city with these little devices trying to activate the ley lines to bring the energy for the demons to come through the main area. The main area where he's got this huge device hidden in the basement is called the Mercado Hotel. Mercado. And as soon as I saw it and I heard it, I was like, that's strange. Isn't that the anagram of the name of the character who was the neighbor to Rosemary in Rosemary's Baby? Follow along with me here. I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to be weird, but this is what I was led to look at. Okay, and I've seen that movie, so this isn't like new to me. Okay, if you haven't seen it, this is the crux of it. The film chronicles the story of a pregnant woman. She doesn't get pregnant until she moves into this the Bramford Hotel, I believe it is, who gradually discovers that her husband has made a pact with a secret religious cult and that the true father of her baby is the devil. Okay? Now, as she's pregnant and running around and looking like death warmed over, and everybody's trying to give her advice, because everybody does when you are, she runs into a friend who hasn't seen her in a while, and his name is Hutch, okay? And he's worried about her. He's like, you know, you don't look really good, and he hands her a book, and it's got some cryptic message. So Hutch dies. He leaves her a book about witchcraft, and then it's delivered to her at his funeral, and the message that he leaves her is the name is an anagram, okay? And she figures out that Roman Castevet, who is the man she knows as her neighbor, is really Stephen Mercado. And I did tell you that the spelling of the hotel is Mercado, Mercado, okay? But the fact that I knew that that name in the movie was an anagram, and that this is the head of the satanic cult that her husband's been dealing with, and the father, basically, she's like, he's not the father of her child, but basically he's the head of the cult that starts the whole thing, and it's how she is impregnated by the devil, okay? This is just how, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, really? So look at this. Because Mercado, with the T from the movie, was an anagram of the original name, I was led to look up anagram of Mercado, the hotel. And if you use all the characters, which is really the only way to do it, comrade is one of the things that comes up. Now, when you hear the word comrade, that makes me think of a Russian speaking English, like comrade, hey friend, hey ally, right? So, many people in these days believe that the king of the north of the Bible, who is going to be in a war with the king of the south, is really Russia or Putin or whoever will be in charge of Russia at the time that that happens. A lot of people have been putting that out there. And like, this all happened for me in about just a few seconds. I was like, oh, that's an anagram. Oh yeah, but I didn't realize it was an anagram for this. But when I looked it up, it made me think of this. Putin has been telling the media, like, look, what's really going on? Look at what your country is doing, for the United States, that is. And they're telling everyone one thing, and they're telling the world they're doing it for this reason, but this is how we feel about it, and this is how we view it. Well, I always say, you can't just be stuck in your views to the point where you can't even listen and really hear what the other person is saying. You don't have to agree with them, but you need to respect a person enough to listen to what they have to say to you. And if you disagree, let it sink in, do your own due diligence and research, and make your decision after that. It's a very dangerous thing to be so ignorant that you're wrapped up in your own views that you can't consider someone else's view, or you're too selfish to even say, why would they think that? Do I like this person enough? Do I trust this person? Do I respect them? Even if I don't, why would they say that? What would motivate them? What have they learned that I don't know? Ask all kinds of questions and go and investigate the subject for yourself. I mean, if it's you loving someone and another person hating someone, well, That's the kind of thing I think is an obvious, well, I'm all set with that. But there are so many deceptions in the world, you got to stop and think what's really going on. So go and look these up, because I can't play them because they're on YouTube. But I'm telling you, Putin has been warning about little things like this. It's not little things, it's big things. Moves we've been making. He's been saying point blank, you are funding ISIS, but you won't tell your own American people you're funding ISIS. Jonathan has told you we're funding ISIS. Obama is funding ISIS. No one wants to hear it. No one wants to. Everybody just wants to be on their iPhone and playing and buying and working and ignoring things and doing. If you don't stop and look up and open your eyes and your ears, it's going to be too late soon. I'm not trying to be a fearmonger. I'm just saying, those people who refuse to listen, Judgment Day is coming for all of us. I'm working on my own things, as we all are, but those people who refuse to listen, I feel like they don't even have a fighting chance because they're just so stubborn. Anyway, I saw the movie. I saw so many things in the movie, and then I was led to show you these things. Go and investigate, and God bless and thank you for your time.